Welcome to Football Scientific. I'm Aaron Sauter. I'm a writer for FootballAnalysis1.com. I cover the Cincinnati Bengals, fantasy football, the Buffalo Bills, and the NFL in general. Also, I write for CFLNewsHub.com. I cover the Hamilton Ticats of the CFL, who played this Sunday. Boop, boop. Also on Football Analysis, Football Scientific, we cover UFL, IFL, NAL, and ELF, European League of Football. And then I'm joined by my co-host, Tyler the Tiger. Tyler the Tiger here, fired up, ready to go. Just trying to do the best I can, just making it happen one day at a time. Being the best I can be. I hope we're having a good day. Bengals are making some moves finally. We're showing some life. Yep, that's true. So it's been busy, 24 hours of football, professional football, so we're going to go through that now. Later today, we'll be doing our preview of Conference USA in our second college football video. So look out for that. It's coming up here in just a little bit, okay? So first, in the NFL, last 24 hours, San Francisco 49ers have placed wide receiver Brandon Ayuk and wide receiver Ricky Pearsall on the PUP list, physical and able to perform. They said Brandon Ayuk was good to go, but I guess not. And Ricky Pearsall is not good to go as well. So they're going to come into camp missing a couple weapons on offense. Chicago Bears have reached an agreement with second-round pick wide receiver Luther Burden III. He gets a fully guaranteed $10.965 million deal. The 39th pick in the draft gets a fully guaranteed deal. We should probably get Shamar Stewart a fully guaranteed deal. He's the last first-round draft pick not to be signed. Just probably should just do it. Fully guaranteed. Whatever. Is your bad for picking him in the first round. New England Patriots, they reached agreement or on a fully guaranteed deal with second-round pick Travion Henderson. Everyone's guaranteeing fully their second-round pick. Bengals, just do it. Boom. What have the Bengals done recently? Well, first, I had written down they had not signed Demetrius Knight Jr. He was still not signed, but today they signed him to a full-year rookie contract. They gave him 80% guaranteed. So they have 80% guaranteed. I would say they should probably just do a full guarantee for Shamar Stewart. Get it over with. Do it. They're getting 80% to their second-round draft pick, so it makes sense to get fully guaranteed to their first-round draft pick. I'm not sure why they're not doing it. Probably because his agent's really unpleasant, but honestly, they picked him in the 17th pick. It's their fault for picking Shamar Stewart. Now you got to pay for your mistakes by paying him. Boom. With T.J. Watt getting $41 million for the next 3 seasons as an extension as a 30-year-old edge rusher, it becomes really unpleasant to not just pay Trey Hendrickson. Now, why are they not just paying Trey Hendrickson? They don't have enough money to pay Trey Hendrickson. Right now, the going rate for Trey Hendrickson, based on T.J. Watt's deal, would be over $40 million per year. They don't have that in the salary cap. They don't have it. They ran out of money. So it's not that they don't want to sign Trey Hendrickson. I don't think they can. I don't think they can sign Trey Hendrickson. They got to cut some fat before they can do that. And maybe they'll be after training camp. Maybe they'll have to cut some people. You might have enough money to pay Trey Hendrickson, but right now they don't even have the money to do it. So it's irrelevant. Trey Hendrickson's mad, but the Bengals don't have the money on the salary cap to even pay him. The only way they can do it is by giving him a small amount this year, giving him what they're giving him now, and then backload it, which is the not preferred way to do this, because usually that equals a restructure later on. You get paid less overall. So I think Trey Hendrickson's smart enough to know, hey, if I sign a lesser contract now, it's going to be backloaded. I'll never get that money. I'll get restructured before they have to pay me for real. Overall, Cincinnati Bengals, I can see why they're being unpleasant to work with financially. They don't have the money in their salary cap, guys. It's like trying to do a strike in the UFL. Sure, you can do a strike, but what are you going to get? They don't have any money. So Bengals don't have enough money to pay Shamar Stewart fully guaranteed. They don't have enough money to pay Trey Hendrickson fully guaranteed. Is that a good thing? Is that a defense? No, it means they're poorly managed. It means they need to probably sell the team and get a real person that knows what they're doing into the Bengals front office. They don't know what they're doing. They're not doing well. Usually they cover it up by just ripping people off, and that's where we're at. But I'm still a Bengals fan, but that's the reality of it, is that they undersell people all the time. I used to buy $200. I undersold them. I had season tickets, but it's $200 for the season tickets for 10 games. I undersold them. Okay, now tickets are full price, $3,000 something for season tickets. I don't even go to games anymore. That's in Cincinnati, because once again, they're not going to invest in their team. So why are you going to invest in them? That's where I'm at. Still like them. Still like the history. Still like the Bengals. Still like Tigers. Boom, got it. LA Rams, they signed their second-round pick, tight end Terrence Ferguson on a 4-year, $9.7 million contract. He's going to get $8 million net guaranteed. That seems pretty on par with Demetrius Knight Jr.'s. Just got to pay Shamar Stewart, guys. Detroit Lions, they report to fall training camp today. Okay, rookies report to training camp today. The rookies report for the Bears, Bengals, Jaguars, Patriots, Jets. It's a major failure by the Bengals not to sign Shamar Stewart by the rookie report date. That's a major failure, man. If that's our first failure, though, of the season, then we're probably doing pretty well. Boom. At the end of Tuesday, all teams will have be fully reported to training camp. So it's getting closer to starting here. Why is Detroit doing it today? Because they got to play the San Diego Chargers in that Hall of Fame game. They got to play earlier than everyone else in the preseason. Green Bay Packers, wide receiver Christian Watson. He's been probably about to be added to a injury designation heading into camp. He may not be on a PUP list or whatever, but he's going to be some kind of injury designation. He's not ready for the Packers to start camp. New Orleans Saints quarterback Tyler Shuck from Louisville. They reached a fully guaranteed $10.8 million contract with him. He's the 40th pick overall, so yeah, you got to find some. He's got to sign Shamar Stewart. We can't afford it, but whatever. We definitely can't afford him. Andre Henderson. Nope, can't do it. Probably this guy. It would be good to trade Andre Henderson. Be good so they don't get nothing for him. New York Jets. Well, they're not going to do it. They're going to let him play $16 million. They're going to say, hey, yeah, you got to pay $60. They have no move in mind. Going back on that, they're just going to let him play out the year if he plays. He's got to play the year sometime. It doesn't count if he doesn't play this year. He doesn't get paid. He probably gets fined. And then after this year, they'll put him on a franchise tag if he doesn't want to sign for something they can afford. That's where it's at. They won't trade him. They won't release him. He might have to retire. Some people have done it. You know, Sam Hubbard did that this year. New York Jets, they signed second-round draft pick tight end Mason Taylor, 42nd round pick. He's been signed. We're the only team not signing everyone. Boom. That's what we're going to be 9-7, according to my breakdown. 9-7, 9-8. Ooh, sounds reasonable. Okay. Kansas City Chiefs, they have named Mike Broadway as a new assistant GM for them, and Chris Shea is also a new assistant GM for them. So they're just promoting some guys while they got a chance, keeping them within their front office. That's a good idea. UFL Houston Roughnecks have re-signed cornerback Armani Marsh. Just keep in mind, only the Roughnecks and Panthers are the only teams re-signing players right now, which is a major red flag for the UFL. They're cutting a bunch of personnel at the UFL front office. It doesn't look good for the UFL, but Houston Roughnecks and Michigan Panthers don't get it, and they're still signing people. They're like, hey, we're getting all these guys. The league might be over, bro. Boom. In the CFL, Calgary Stampeders have moved to the single game injury list after beating Winnipeg last night. American quarterback Josh Love has moved to the single game injured list. Saskatchewan Roughriders added from the single game injured list national wide receiver Samuel Emilis. Saskatchewan plays BC tonight. And they also moved to the single game injured list wide receiver Tommy Nielsen. Nice, Nils. They added to the single game injured list national wide receiver Mitchell Pitcher. And they added to the practice roster American DB Antoine Brooks Jr. They moved to the single game injury list American defensive lineman Aaron Patrick. They signed American offensive lineman Darius Washington. They moved to the single game injury list American wide receiver Mario Alper. They moved to the single game injury list national offensive line Daniel Johnson. They added to the single game injury list American defensive line Caleb Sanders. They added from the single game injury list National DB Tavon Copeland, and they moved to practice roster national wide receiver Deshaun Mims, and they added for the practice squad American offensive lineman from the practice squad Darius Washington and American offensive receiver Dre McCrary. Okay, so they're making a bunch of moves trying to get this win. They lost to Calgary last week. Everyone's been losing to Calgary. It's only Manly, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, but they're trying to get back on the winning side. Okay. Toronto played Montreal on Thursday night. Toronto came out with Nick Arbuckle at quarterback. They threw for 242 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. They threw for 49 receiving touchdown, or rushing, 49 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 fumble. Deontay McMahon, had a touchdown for them. 0 sacks. He got injured again in that game, I believe, though. Montreal Alouettes, they threw for 303 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. They ran for 84 rushing yards. They won the running game. And they had 2 touchdowns on the ground with Davis Alexander and Sean Thomas Erlington, formerly of the Tiger Cats. And they had 1 fumble. They had 3 sacks. So they won in the rushing game, they won in the passing game, and they won in sacks. That equals a close win. Toronto had led that game most of the way, but in the fourth quarter, Montreal came back and roared back and stole the win. 26-25, Sean Lemon was back in the lineup in that game and got a sack against Toronto down the stretch after being suspended for gambling on his own team and also some PED situations. So, Montreal bumps themselves back into first place at 4-2. They beat Toronto 26-25. We were right in that friction. Boop, got it. Okay, that means Hamilton needs to win. Tomorrow they need to beat the Ottawa Redblacks, which should be doable. It's the worst ranked team in the league right now, according to me on my power rankings. They got to win this game. Win this game, and you're still even with Montreal, and you're in the fight for first place in the East, okay? They got to win this game against Ottawa tomorrow. I'll have a pregame article. I already got a pregame article made. I typed it last night. I'm waiting for the depth charts to be released from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They're being real contemplative about that. Contemplative, I guess. Okay. In a less successful note for Football Scientific, Calgary Stampeders continue their stampede through the West Division. I really don't know how they keep winning these games, guys. They just it falls to them. Calgary Stampeders, they came out, threw the ball to Vernon Adams Jr., threw the ball for 267 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. It's probably the best game of the year so far. They ran for 130 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, no fumbles. Okay, backup quarterback Quincy Slinger had a touchdown for them. Their 1 rushing touchdown. They had 3 sacks defensively. Winnipeg came out and melted down. Only way to describe it. Winnipeg, I think, is the better team, but they're melting down at quarterback. Zach Collaros looks like he's done. He's done in the CFL. Chris Streveler came in and shows why he doesn't play for the Jets anymore. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they threw for 287 passing yards with Zach Collaros and Chris Streveler. They both threw 1 touchdown, but they also both threw 2 interceptions apiece. That's 4 interceptions total. You're not going to win a game against anybody like that. They outrushed them, 146 yards, 0 fumbles. They Nick Dembski had a touchdown. Cody Cave had a touchdown. They had 1 sack, but 4 interceptions. It's not going to work against a good team. In Calgary, well, I don't think they're the best team in the league, although right now I'm going to have to put them at the top of my power rankings. They are a good team, okay? And you can't come out and throw 4 interceptions and hope to win the game if they're not going to do the same. And they didn't. They protected the ball well. They ran the ball well. They did what they had to do, and they won 41-20. That's a domination, guys. A second time they've done that in 3 weeks against Winnipeg, okay? They're 5-1. Winnipeg's 3-2. Toronto's 1-5. Montreal's 4-2, tied for first place. Calgary should be at first place in the division if Saskatchewan does not win tonight. So I said they will win tonight. I think they will be tied with Calgary. We will have a tight race in the West and the East at the top of the standings. But if they don't win against BC, then suddenly Calgary's sitting there all by themselves. They look really good, okay? Someone talks some trash about my prediction, but no one picked Calgary to win that game. No one did. If they did, they're probably insane. But guess what? It's insane. Calgary's winning some games now. Okay, in the ELF, Week 10, there's Saturday games. They have Saturday games today and Sunday games tomorrow. I was waiting for the Saturday games to get done before I did the show. So Vienna Vikings travel to the Wroclaw Panthers. This is a playoff game for Wroclaw, man. They're in that group of 6 teams trying to get into the playoffs. Vienna is already at the top of the standings. They should already be getting a bye if they just keep playing good football. What did they do? Well, they threw for 186 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. They ran for 220 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. They had 4 quarterback sacks. That's a really good performance by Vienna. Wroclaw needing to win this game, threw for 266 passing yards. That's pretty good. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. You do what you got to do. But they only ran the ball for 92 rushing yards and 0 touchdowns. That's why they're not going to be a playoff team. They don't have the running game. And they can't stop the run. That's why they're going to, when you can't stop the run or run the ball in the ELF, you're going to lose. and that's why they're not a playoff team. They can't run against and stop the run of the best teams in the league. So therefore, that's going to be their ceiling. They might climb to a playoff, but I don't think so. I think roll call will be left out this year. Next, Frankfurt Galaxy, who came in this at 3-5 on a losing streak. Played the Cologne Centurions, who have the worst losing streak ever. They're 0-9, and there's bad football. Frankfurt traveled to Cologne. They put up 250 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. It's not like they even played against the defense. 133 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. They have 5 quarterback sacks, so we're really not even playing against an offensive line. Cologne Centurions threw for 161 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. 4 interceptions get a spell. Loss, foreshadowing there. They had 62 rushing yards. That's bad. 1 fumble. Boom. They got destroyed 74-10. Got it. Munich Ravens, T-Roll Raiders. I said this would probably be a street fight type game, a playoff game for T-Roll. They're in the same boat as Rocklaw. They're one of the 6 teams fighting for a playoff spot. They need to win this game. Munich came in as a hot team looking to lead this division and try to get into a bye position. At 8-1, they're 7-1. That's foreshadowing. They're very good. Okay, so Munich Ravens, they were not winning most of this game. They threw for 92 passing yards. That's not very many. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. They ran for 231 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, and had 2 quarterback sacks. T-Roll Raiders, who led the game most of the way, had 177 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 111 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. So basically, the Munich Ravens just beat down the T-Roll Raiders by, what do they call it? By death by 1,000 cuts, you know. They just sit there and they beat them down. And T-Roll was more athletic. T-Roll was probably a better team. T-Roll led the game. But Munich Ravens just kept beating on them. And then in the 4th quarter, boom. Munich Ravens catch a few breaks. They take the lead. And they just keep beating on T-Roll. And they won't let them get up. So it's just like a violent boxing match, okay? So Munich's looking good. T-Roll is struggling. But that's not to not be expected, honestly. So that's the football business so far. Professional football business today, the last 24 hours or so. I will be having, I have a pregame article with Tiger Cats and Rado Ridlocks for tomorrow. I have that on CFLNewsHub.com. I will be adding the Tiger Cats depth chart here as soon as it's released officially. I've seen some social media things, but I like to release the official depth chart. And then I finished. I break down the Buffalo Bills power rankings by position. I'll be working on a game-by-game preview of the Buffalo Bills and Cincinnati Bengals, predicting their records and outcomes of the games. And then I'm doing college football next. Conference USA will be the next conference we look at and break down. Remember, footballanalysis1.com. Check it out. We're about to get rolling here through training camp. It's going to get real spicy in footballanalysis1.com. CFLNewsHub.com. Check it out. We're in the mid-CFL season. It's the time to keep up with the CFL if you like Canadian football. Then, like the video. Boop. We see more videos in algorithm. We have plenty of videos. We'll keep making more videos. And then subscribe to the channel. Boop. We're almost at 100 subscribers. We lost a subscriber. They didn't like my Calgary comment. I said some cows didn't get butchered or something. So they said whatever. But if you're not with us, you're against us. You know what I'm saying? So if you subscribe and you're like, this is lame, then unsubscribe. That's all you gotta do. I'm gonna keep making it because these are like advertisements for footballanalysis1.com, footballanalysis1.com, and CFLNewsHub.com. I never really expected this to take off, honestly, but I enjoy doing it, and I think college football is gonna be cool to cover. And we'll talk about Conference USA here in just a little bit. So have a great day. Football Scientific portal is now closed. Bye-bye.